Spent too much time in California. Now I got that Rona. Gotta be alone. Staring at my phone. Gotta be alone.
Gotta be alone.
Hey, if you thought that I recorded the intro to this episode and the last episode at the same time because I'm wearing the same thing and I probably look exactly the same, you'd be right. I just did one and then I walked away and then I did the other one. Now I'm doing this one, you know? So in my mind, and like I just said everything. But one thing I didn't say is I did talk about my contact tracing job, but I got another short-term thing. So I have to leave town. I got to leave Pennsylvania and drive back to LA. So I'm going to be doing a special, I think one episode, we'll see how it works out, of me driving across the country, getting a feel for what it's actually like out there as far as safety and pandemics related things. And it's going to be 3 days of driving. It's terrible every time. But I have to do it because I have to go to Los Angeles and I don't want to fly there. And I also need my car when I'm there. So those are two, put those reasons together. I'm driving for 3 days. That's pretty much how it goes. But I'm a little nervous. And I'm nervous to be in Los Angeles again because it'll be very different. But, I feel like we've learned a lot and learned how to stay safe. And I feel confident that I can stay safe personally. And, I don't plan on doing anything more than I have to, just what's essential as far as living my life. And, I'll be wearing a mask and keep my distance from everybody. I brought some face shields too. Just in case, they're cheap and they also support some small businesses and, they might make me more comfortable. Who knows? Is that a cat? Is it a cat? Yeah, we got a cat. So this episode is not me driving across the country. This episode is part one of 2 parts. And it features my friend Juan, who was in an earlier episode that was just audio. This is video, and the video portion is important. So if you're just listening to this, you might want to check out the YouTube because we're discussing COVID and COVID-adjacent memes. Y'all know what memes are. These have been tough times, right? One awesome thing that's come out of this is humor. And memes are a very particular brand of jokes and humor that I don't usually know how to do. But I'm always impressed with people that can really capture something with a couple of words and an image and even reuse the same image and just spin it a certain way with different context to fit today, because tomorrow it'll be different. And it's just I say it in the episode, I feel like memes are today's political cartoons, even though they're not all political, but they're just like that brand of satire or humor or whatever it is, like to present something and have it just represent and capture this whole moment and also hopefully make you laugh. I think memes are great. And Juan says, you'll hear him talk about it, he thinks that they're the greatest thing to come out of this generation, does he say? I don't know. Greatest thing, definitely I think the greatest thing to come out of this moment. There's not a lot of good stuff coming out in general, not a lot of positive things, but memes are positive. Humor is great. There's never not a time for humor. There's been very few times in my life when I didn't welcome a laugh. I remember I had to go to the emergency room, nothing crazy. I was okay. I am okay. But there have been a couple times where I had to go to the emergency room for something and just like being in that high pressure, high tension moment and atmosphere, and you're kind of scared or whatever's happening in your body. Maybe you don't know what's happening. It can be scary, and just like having a joke, messing with the nurse or whatever, it always made me feel better, me feel comfortable. I hope it doesn't bother, it always seemed like, it established a rapport and also maybe help them well, I'm sure it helped them to get comfortable too, because they're not always 100% comfortable with new patients. And, the point is, I think there's always a place for humor. And when I say humor, I just mean laughing. It doesn't have to be a joke. It just can mean finding something silly or funny, Doesn't have to be a perfectly crafted joke. They're also great. But just like having a silly time, I think it's really important. And so Juan and I, we talk about memes. This was the first episode that I recorded, and I feel like it took me a while to get the wheels turning again, just being on Zoom, and I don't know. But anyway, it ended up going pretty long, and figuring out the format and the production, since there was the added element of us looking at images, it was a little bit of a curveball. So I think it's great. But the second one, we're doing a part 2, because this one went long and there's plenty more memes. I think part 2 is going to be even better. So watch this one, enjoy, laugh, comment, tell me what you think, send me more memes, and then get excited for part 2. I don't know when that is, but it's going to happen at some point. This is part 1, me and Juan. I don't know. We all have opinions. Nothing's really changing. We just learned a lot about ourselves and our country in the last.
Yeah, seeing the veil, of course, has been definitely lifted for a lot more people in terms of, this shit's been going on since the foundation of this country. So yeah. It's just more apparent. And that, I guess the nice thing is that more white people are actually like, oh, all right, fuck the cops. Like ours. And on top of police and with the pandemic is just airing out like how horrible of a system we have around the world. It's just like, it doesn't care about any average person's life.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And so last time you and I talked, you're the first return guest. I want to point that out. This is Juan. Yeah. We didn't have video the first time, but this is him. This is you. Here we are. Welcome back. That was back in April, right?
Yeah.
And we were just talking, pandemic and thoughts for the future and
my brush with the virus.
Your what?
And my brush with the virus.
Your brush with the virus.
Yeah.
Have you been tested since?
Yeah, I did. I got the antigen test, and I tested negative. Luckily, it was. I had to donate blood to be able to get that test for free, which is good. It's 2 birds with 1 stone. I hadn't donated blood in a while, and I know I should do it more often. So,
cool.
Yeah.
I also got an antibody test, also negative, also free, luckily.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. So things are pretty different, and I was thinking about this earlier. Memes are pretty popular and funny, but they also sort of like capture a moment in a way that other things can't. They're like modern day political cartoons in some way. They're not all political, but some are. But they just like are kind of they're not only funny in the moment, but they like really can capture the humor or like emotion of a moment in a way that just kind of talking about it maybe can't. It's just because it's so simple, but it's really relatable. And so, yeah, and they're usually fun and also like kind of oh shit. And I also think it'll be fun because this podcast is fun to like in its own way capture the moment and what this whole thing is feeling like, because eventually there's going to be a vaccine. Eventually we're not going to be talking about COVID-19 and we'll have this to look back on. But this is more layered because we're going to talk about memes that are from this time. So we're going to capture the moment
as we capture this moment.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I just want to kind of add in is just like, I mean, this might be a bold statement, but I'll stand by it right now and probably for the next maybe couple years. Is I think honestly, memes are like the most important cultural product of the last 10 years. Like, I mean, because it's
as a concept.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, like you said, it captures a moment. It is like a representation of like our society and what we're going through in this context, like culturally, and it's like its own kind of, it's still like even though it's digital, it still like represents material realities that we're experiencing now. And I think it's really funny because they go so viral, like, you know, there's TV shows based off of memes now, and you know, there's like a whole lot of commentary. Like, I remember, so there's one Instagrammer, and I should have scoured his site for COVID memes, but his name's Brad Trammell, and he is like an art critic person. I think he's like affiliated with a few meme pages, and what was really interesting was when Biden finally won the nomination, he released like a fake ad that looked super real, that was like saying like not his head but his heart, and it was like, you know, making this comment on like, you know, how a lot of people think Joe Biden's cognitive abilities are declining, and you know, it's kind of getting at this, and it went crazy viral where like even Fox News, the DNC, and Joe Biden's campaign had to address it because so many people were sharing it. I think even Donald Trump shared it, thinking it was real, and it was just like, you know, that was kind of like the genius of like creating this like shit post meme. It was like it really can influence people, and I think it's the nature of it can spread so rapidly. Like, there's a lot of power with them. That's why I say it's like probably the most important cultural product that's been developed in the last 10 years.
Yeah, because I mean, like a meme by definition, before we were doing like digital memes, a meme is like an idea that can spread really quickly. Like that's what a meme is. And so like putting that word to these images makes perfect sense because they can really like become, as you said, they go viral and they become like, they alter the zeitgeist, but then a lot of times they just go away really quickly. And then you like look back and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was funny. Or like what I really enjoy is when there's just like a classic image and then the words change. Like people use that image to like create all these different memes that like fit that day or that week or whatever.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's a recontextualizing of that image, and it's constantly being recycled. And re-recycled, is that?
That's definitely a thing.
I mean, yeah, it's just constant going through other cycles. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, like the guy with the girlfriend looking back at like the other girl. And I guess that's like a stock photo that actually has multiple stock photos related to it. Like it's a storyline.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny, but like that's, the most classic one.
That's super classic. And it just, you can put almost any situation there and it's funny. I also like it because just like as somebody who tries to understand comedy and like write jokes, it looks so easy to make a meme, but if you set out like, oh, I'm going to make a bunch of memes, it's so difficult. I can't do it. It's like a particular brand of comedy or like joke writing that I don't think I have.
Yeah.
But anyway,
because like if you look on Instagram, at least that's where I get most of my memes. Sometimes Twitter. I don't go on Twitter as much, but definitely Instagram. Like a lot of meme accounts that are like super popular now don't last very long. I think they usually burn out in like 2 to 3 years, and then like they stop because it's like too hard to keep up. And then you develop a following, and then you have this like responsibility to your followers, and then you know it's rough because a lot of times like I think once you get to that certain like verified level, I think Instagram expects you to like post every day and like multiple times a day.
Yeah.
So then it's just like, yeah, that's just from what I gathered with some of the meme pages that I follow / used to follow, is that a lot of them are just like, once they get to that blue check mark, it's nice because they can get paid, and then you can do more, of course, like, add links and like swipe up to your businesses and stuff like that. But I think with that, like, Instagram expects you to like have a certain level of engagement.
It makes sense. And they all like promote each other too, which probably helps with that.
Yeah.
They build each other up, which seems nice. It's probably all the memes in the world are probably made by like 3 people. Just all these.
It's like all the pop songs are made by that one guy in Sweden.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, yeah.
And you and I like will share stuff on Instagram anyway. And this was your idea of this podcast, but it kind of just made sense to do it. And I think it's a fun way to for me to get back into the podcast anyway, because I've been trying to figure out how to do that. So this is hopefully going to be fun. You sent me 1 million memes last night. I tried to not look at them as best as I could as I was saving them so that I could kind of like see them for the first time.
Have fresh eyes.
Yeah.
Most of them are, because I follow a few like healthcare Instagram pages that make like funny Instagram memes. So most of them are from a couple of those sites. So yeah, it's not like, I think generally most of them should be able to cater to a broader audience.
All right, let me figure out how to. I just did it, and now it's making me go back to the link. So I'm joining the call from my phone. Do you see anything?
No, it's still on the. There we go.
Hydroxychloroquine is just for Tide Pods. Oh, sorry. Hydroxychloroquine is just Tide Pod. Why don't you read this one?
Hydroxychloroquine is just Tide Pods for boomers. Changed my mind. Yes.
So this guy, tell me about this guy.
So this is, I believe is Steven Crowder. He has like a podcast or show called Louder with Crowder. He's like a far right conservative dude that just like goes around and like is pretty antagonistic. I didn't send you this meme, but this is a good meme, but I know who this guy is. And this is like, yeah, one of those classic things. I think he was talking, like the original post might have been something like this picture might have been something like, there are only 2 genders, change my mind.
Right. And I've seen this image pop up a lot where people just like make some claim and then say, change my mind. I don't think I can think of another example offhand, but I've seen it quite a bit and it's usually pretty funny. And so hydroxychloroquine is obviously the medication that Trump has been touting since the beginning of the pandemic. It's a malaria medication. It's an antibiotic, and there's no evidence that it does anything for COVID-19. And there was just a big study that came out of England that showed that it had no effect on people. So Tide Pods were super popular a couple of years ago. There was it was a YouTube thing. It was like a challenge, I think, for like young kids, like Zoomers, millennials, and they were like challenge each other to eat them, I think. And I think some did, right?
Yeah, they actually, I think CDC actually posted something on their website about Tide Pods. It was getting so serious. Like there were people poisoning themselves. It was ridiculous. Oh God. And that just reminds me of all the memes about Tide Pods that were coming out around that time. It's just it was basically like, oh, they shouldn't have made them look so delicious if they didn't want us to eat them.
They do look nice. Yeah, they're great. I think I use them. But so this meme is basically just saying, oh yeah, I guess we have to explain what boomers are too, right? So boomers are like baby boom generation, like our parents' generation.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, millennials and parents usually.
Yeah.
Parents of millennials and Gen X people.
Yeah.
Maybe not Zoomers. I'm not sure Zoomers, unless they were like really having kids super late, which good on them if they're still able to reproduce that late in life to produce a Zoomer.
Yeah, possible. But okay, so this meme is basically saying hydroxychloroquine we now understand it to have no actual benefit and it will just kill you, but people are still like basically Trump supporters. They're being characterized as boomers. Not all boomers are Trump supporters. That's fine, but it's a meme. And people are basically challenging each other in a way to take this medication knowing that it has no benefit and will kill you, maybe.
Yeah, it's great because it like both things essentially put you now with all the information on hydroxychloroquine not being effective. It's like, all right, well, whoever believes like that this actually still works, you could be on the short list for a Darwin Award now.
Right. Right. Yeah, that was a good one. I think someone we both know sent that to me. Like, do you know her? I think so. I don't know.
Kate?
Yeah, Kate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
But it's been so long that I'm like having trouble remembering the timeline of Philadelphia. But yeah, you definitely know her.
Yeah, it's funny. I met her through you as well as a friend from Jefferson that was a nurse.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, she was like
Okay.
in between, and it was really funny because I remember hanging out with her with my friend Joe, and then like hanging out with her with you, and it was just like it was so interesting because it was just like I know these two guys don't even know each other, but somehow they know the same person, and it was just
Yeah, I didn't realize that. No, I went to college with Kate, so
cool.
that's that connection. Okay.
Yeah, I sent you this one.
Okay.
Oh
So-
man, yeah, this one. So this is another classic meme photo that you just need to put a caption. It can be awesome. I'm trying to remember. I think so. This was from a documentary, and I forgot what it was, but yeah, it was like this is it was I think a British documentary, and it was just like following some people. I don't know the whole background of the photo, but I used to. But yeah, it's just it's just perfect because it's just like when it's you just see so many memes with that. You like can't have a second wave because the first one keeps going.
Right. And the guy's just like, like this is us. Like we're clever as shit. Like you talking about a second wave? There's one easy way. One easy way to prevent a second wave.
Never have a second wave. Just keep it going.
Keep the first one going. That's right. So this one's nice. Yeah, I've seen this guy a lot, and he's awesome looking. I can see why he sticks around because he's great. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So you sent me this too. I think I have all yours in a row. Is this a meme? What am I looking at?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm looking at this for the first time. So it looks like the Olympics and the USA. It's the Olympics of COVID-19 and the USA is winning. And obviously. And the dude is also being an asshole, which sounds about right.
He's super psyched to be winning. I mean, we're winning so much. I mean, the picture. He's not tired of winning, obviously. I mean, but I'm actually getting really tired of us winning right now.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy seems pretty into it though. He's making sure that medal is good. It looks legit. He seems pleased with it. He's Frenching the lady that put it on him, which I don't think is allowed, and he's doing a little butt grab. That's fine, I guess. He's throwing up the middle finger, saying "fuck yeah," toasting some champagne. Yeah, he's pretty thrilled to be number one. Who's this at number 2? What flag is that?
That's Brazil, and then Russia is number 3. Those might have changed now, but I mean, I knew for a while they were the top. They were trailing us, but I mean, we're by far way ahead in the lead. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that USA will always be number one in COVID cases.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This guy doesn't look typical like American to me, but like I get it. We'll take it.
What's American supposed to look like, Jordan?
I know, but I feel like for this meme, he could have been, like stereotypical Trump supporter looking kind of guy. But.
I mean, maybe that's what some of them look like. Maybe it would be better if we had Trump on there, the Trump face superimposed over that. Maybe I'll make that meme.
Yeah, this guy looks. Anyway, I'm being a dick now. He looks great. Okay, he looks beautiful. So, okay, I'm looking at this for the first time. It looks like YouTube. It's like a play on people getting like subscribers on their YouTube channels. And when people, I don't know, I assume something happens when you reach, I love how 10 million is spelled wrong too. I know YouTube like sends you stuff like when you hit certain numbers of subscribers.
Yeah.
And people like post about it like, and even when the best is when on Instagram people post they're like, oh my God, 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Like it's hilarious. But 10 million in 5 months. And we have a picture of the coronavirus and obviously 10 million cases, 5 months.
I mean, it went pretty viral.
It went pretty viral. Yeah, you could say that. Although I don't know if I've ever seen million spelled like that. Maybe that's something that I'm not familiar with. I don't know.
Million. Million.
10 million.
Yeah.
Hard to do. Hard to pull off 10 million in 5 months. But we did it.
Yeah.
I like how these are just all making fun of like how good we are at doing something so shitty.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're leading the pack with it too. The US, we're just really going for it.
Is this a meme? What is this? I'll read it.
It kind of is. It's more of like, yeah, Facebook posts saying how the surgeons wear masks. So it's kind of making fun of the whole argument that masks are like dangerous. And how there's those conspiracy theories of like how masks, like people will pass out from the carbon dioxide that's being trapped in their mask or blah, blah, blah. So it's just kind of talking shit where like,
I'm going to read it.
Basically the COVID fact, surgeons wear masks every day for hours, and within 2 months of becoming surgeons, their brains are so deprived of oxygen from breathing and their own carbohydrates, they drop dead on the spot. The government has been hiding the deaths for years because of their lucrative ties to the mask industry. Look it up. Can't find the stories? That's how good they are at hiding with their HIPAA laws. Which should be HIPAA, but I get it. Think about it. Are you alive or dead? Now, are you a surgeon? Exactly. The media doesn't want you to know. Wearing a mask means the government can't see your face and match your ID, and now they can take your gun. I mean, yeah. I mean, I work in a hospital. I've worked in plenty of hospitals, and we just can't seem to keep surgeons around. They just disappear.
Yeah, my favorite part is, are you alive or dead? Now, are you a surgeon? Exactly.
Yeah. I definitely, I need to post this somewhere in my hospital. So,
I mean,
especially when I'm working on an orthopedic floor, I think, really make people question what's going on.
People do legitimately believe that masks are bad for you, right? Like that's still happening.
Yeah, I remember I didn't send this meme, or it wasn't, I don't consider it a meme. I just find it a really dumb post where it was just like, they swabbed, I forgot what it was, but they had like a swab, like a petri dish, like a culture, of a bunch of bacteria on one and then a culture of the other.
Mm.
And it was like trying to say like this was like someone with a mask and without a mask. I think you might have posted it.
Yeah, there were a couple of them. There was like a petri dish, and then it was like someone sneezing, someone talking, someone singing or whatever, like over it, like with and without a mask. But I mean, I think that. Are you saying that this was showing
It was
that?
like saying that it was like, oh, our bodies are meant to get rid of this bacteria, but wearing a mask.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
And then that's going to make us die because we have all this bacteria living on us.
Yeah, that was like a legit argument that I saw on Facebook, which I've since deactivated my Facebook because it was really bringing me down. But
Yeah.
somebody posted, because originally it was like, this is what it's like to cough on a petri dish without a mask. This is what it's like to cough on one with a mask, and like the one without a mask had a lot of growth, and the other one didn't. Maybe didn't have any. I don't remember. But then people were like, tried to twist it and say the argument was like, coughing is your body trying to get rid of the bacteria. See all this bacteria that's coming out of you? Like this, the masks are keeping that in and you're breathing in your own bacteria. And I'm just like, no, I mean, I don't even know where to start with that because it doesn't make any sense, because like that's not all bacteria that came out of you. That could start with one and then it just grows on the plate, and that's how bacteria work. Like that doesn't mean they all came out of you. But also there's a whole ecosystem in your mouth. There's an oral microbiome that is super healthy that we need. Like I've taken oral probiotics, like things like yogurt, all kinds of food. Like they put bacteria in your mouth. We need them. They coat our entire bodies everywhere, inside and out. Yes, like we are breathing them in probably all the time and out as well. And that's super necessary. Like they are the most important thing, in my opinion. I think the microbiome for health is probably the most, or like top couple important things, and it's just like that argument among so many others make no sense. Like they just show that people have no basic understanding of science. And like I have so much trouble reading them, and then I try to respond sometimes, but like I'm just met with such hostility, which is why I deleted Facebook, because like people don't want to get it most of the time. Like they will take that and be like, oh, yep, see, told you. And like it's just confirmation bias, and they're like, end of story.
Yeah. Well, so one thing, since you brought up science, that I wanted to ask you is like fucking magnets. How do they work? Can you tell me?
No. Physics, dude. I'm not a physicist.
Yeah, that's what I figured. You scientists are lying and getting me pissed.
Right. We only have this one slice of understanding, and then, yeah. That's a good question, man. Magnets do seem like magic. They really do.
They're miracles.
They are. There's something else. I like this. Okay, I will read this. This is a tweet by somebody named Brooke Miller. Says, this is the first year I'm not going to Fiji because of COVID-19. Sad face. Normally, I do not go because I'm poor. Sure. It says everything it needs to say. COVID-19 is keeping us from traveling, but...
I mean, it gives us a different excuse instead of being able to say like, hey, I'm too poor to do this or too poor to do that. It's like now you have an excuse that like can be deemed as socially acceptable that doesn't expose whatever your class status is. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of flipped, because I feel like, and I don't want to generalize too much, but like lower class or like people that are most affected by the virus seem more likely to have unsafe practices because they need to travel. Not go to Fiji, but like do things like go to work.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if they're spending more time commuting and whatnot, yeah. For sure. I mean, yeah, working class people are going to be more exposed. But it's, yeah, this is, you can gloss over what, like I said, your class status, your socioeconomic class status, and just say, oh, I can't do this because of COVID, and people won't assume that, especially on social media like Twitter.
Yeah. But I like how she just lets us know anyway. Thanks, Brooke.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's classic. You sent it to me, but I had it anyway. This guy just says so much about America. This came out probably, what, like a month ago? We saw this dude?
I think so.
So most or all maybe airlines now have a mask mandate, right? Like while you're on the flight, you have to wear a mask.
Mhm.
And masks have become so politicized that like for so long, anti-mask went hand in hand with like being Republican or being a Trump supporter, and then people who wore masks were liberals, or some worse name that they would call us, or excuse me, not us, them.
Anybody who wears a mask, yeah. Yeah, it's, I guess, yeah, there's, mask mandate on the airlines. I think they now got rid of like nobody can sit in the middle seat.
Some airlines are fully booked, from what I understand.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, but so this guy, obviously a Trump supporter because he's wearing the hat, and he is wearing a mask, but he's just being a dick. He's only being a dick. And he's wearing a mask.
To give him the benefit of the doubt, I mean, you could get coronavirus through your eyes too. So he's protecting his eyes.
Sure, but he sure isn't protecting the people around him. So, yeah, this guy just sucks. And it, like, obviously someone just snapped a photo of this random dude on a flight, and it went viral because it just captured so much of what people are feeling. Like, I can relate to the little kid sitting behind him. Like, that fucking sucks that this dude is potentially putting this small child in danger. And then, I'm sure so many people can relate to that guy. I cannot, but I'm sure many people can. It's just like, fuck this mask mandate. Like, yeah, I'll wear a mask, but I'm just going to wear it because I'm going to wear it wrong and go to fucking sleep because fuck all you people. Like, it's just some selfish bullshit.
Yeah, it's funny because I like how you pointed out the little kid, because, I mean, that kid has more sense. And I mean, you can't see his whole facial expression, but you can kind of tell in his eyes, he's like, fucking really? I have to be within one row of this Brad here. It's just, no offense to any other Brads that, are responsible Brads, but I'm just going to call this guy Brad.
Yeah, he's a Brad.
Or Chad.
He's a Chad.
Or he's a Chud.
He's a chode. I mean, in reality, that kid probably can't even see the guy because of where he's sitting. But I like to think he's just scowling at him. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a good scowl.
Yeah, it definitely does. Oh, this one I saw. You sent me. It's a guy wearing a mask, and it says never wear a beige mask. And it's just like, it makes him look so scary and disgusting. He looks like a weird cartoon. And the fact that, like,
oh no, I'm kind of turned on.
It does look surprisingly like vaginal too, in a weird way. But his hair doesn't help the cause. I mean, he's got awesome hair, but the whole look just doesn't work. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great look. I don't know about you. I'm digging it. I'm feeling a little tingle down in.
Is this a sex shop? Oh, it's like a hardware store.
And I mean, he's got great hair.
Got great hair.
Can't really tell. It looks like he has some. He knows how to accessorize. I'll give him that. I mean,
yeah.
I can't tell. I'll give them that because I'm just assuming. But
yeah. I mean, he's safe. He does seem like a safe guy. Like, I wouldn't have a problem being 6 feet from this dude, I don't think. He's got hand sanitizer.
They got this hand sanitizer. I mean, if they had gloves on, then you'd have the extra little layer of safety. What I'm wondering is if that mask, because, you know, some of those cloth masks are just one, or is this a double layered mask because there's also double layers of labia?
There is a weird fold, so I'm curious what's going on as well. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Looks like something out of like Futurama too. Like, or, you know, some sci-fi cartoon. Like, this could be a total, like, you know, side character.
Yeah, I mean, he may not have a mouth.
Yeah. Or this might be like, you know, maybe did you ever watch that movie Teeth?
Yes, great movie.
Yeah. This could be inspired by that movie because, you know, it's covering his mouth. There's teeth underneath there.
It's a great movie. If anyone hasn't seen Teeth, Vagina Dentata.
Yeah. Vagina dentata. Was it the doctor's office? Vagina dentata.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I was actually at Sundance when that film was screening, or like in the festival. And
look at you going to fancy.
I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it at the festival. I didn't see any films. I was just in Park City, Utah during the festival. It was actually a pretty dumb thing to do. But I remember hearing a lot about that movie. I don't know if it won anything, but it was definitely a lot of talk.
Yeah.
Vagina Dentata.
It's a cult classic.
It's great. Okay, so this is a classic meme image about it's I guess it's a drawing, but it's like two super jacked dudes. Are they arm wrestling? Or are they just
I don't know. It's kind of a weird. I didn't notice how weird the like white dude's hand and wrist look. I don't know. It just like looks weird to me. How like the angle and just like.
Yeah, I always kind of saw it as like an embrace.
Clenching fists. It reminds. I think it might be a painting of like that scene in Predator where Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers like lock hands. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, it seems kind of like an embrace to me.
Yeah, it's like a arm in arm.
Because the meme doesn't get me to think that they're
arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got one guy represents teachers, one guy represents nurses, and they're embracing in the middle. And in the middle, like almost like a Venn diagram, they are getting fucked over by our country's complete lack of an appropriate response to one of the greatest disasters of our lifetimes. And they're almost like, fuck yeah. Like, that's the joke, is they're both in this together, teachers and nurses. Nurses because they're on the front lines and, you know, missing protective gear and also respect, and people are also abusing the rules and regulations and just like overworking these people who are fighting the disease firsthand. And then you have teachers who are just like getting thrown under the bus, having to do their job completely unsafely.
Yeah. I mean, I completely relate to this because although I'm not a nurse, I mean, still working in healthcare, I mean, nurses have it worse because they have to see patients. There's a lot of times where, I mean, yeah, luckily that like a week ago, I had a COVID positive patient on my patient list. And then the nurse was like, oh, you don't need to see them. They're intubated and they're like not doing so hot. So I was like, I hadn't seen a COVID patient in like probably 2 months. And then of course, with the recent kind of second surge of the first wave, we started seeing more cases back in our hospital again. And yeah, I mean, nurses have it because they have to see the patients. Doctors sometimes can just round outside the room. Nurses have to go in there to like do the med stuff. So, but I kind of relate with it because also at the same time I am having to teach this public health class. And they're like,
In person?
I'm trying to get my professor to have my recitations, which are like our discussion group classes, in via Zoom, because that's what we did at towards the end when they locked everything down the second half of our spring semester. But the school wants us to try to have it like in person. Like we're doing a hybrid model, and it's just in like I understand to a very like they should very much limit all on-campus interaction. There's certain things that I understand, like you know, if you're like an art major, you need to go into the ceramic studio to be able to do your work, or if you're in dance, or certain like, you know, if you're working in computer engineering or computer science and you have to have like access to these like high powered computers to run some problems or whatnot. Like, yes, and those classes and labs are usually really small. Anyway, so like doing that is fine, but like if I'm doing a class where it's pretty much discussion and I drive the discussion with some questions, like it should be on Zoom. And I think they're trying to make, I'm not sure, but I'm like I told the professor, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I'd rather do it via Zoom. And if she wants me to do it in person still, or the school's like, no, these ones have to be in person, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So
I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any benefit to being in person, right? You can.
There really isn't. I mean, it's just honestly with the format of the class and how it's done is just like I could do it via Zoom and it's just as effective. Well, not just as effective, but it's pretty much because what they're gonna do is like half of the class would be in person and the other half will be online anyways, and I'd have to be streaming it both ways and trying to like do that, which for me is just like that's gonna be too much work, and I'm not getting paid extra to do it. So
yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Have everything on Zoom the one way instead of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like we're running a little bit low on time. So
all right. So yeah, we got to make this is the what the fuck is wrong with me? We got to make a decision. Are we going to do a rapid fire, or are we going to do?
Let's do a rapid fire.
Okay.
And if one that comes up, yeah. There's one that I sent you that I really want to see.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's a video.
Okay. Well, here's the other option that I was going to throw out is that we do a part 2 at some point in the future.
Sure. Yeah, we can do a rapid fire in a part 2.
We're going to do both. Okay. I like that attitude. Attention, if you or a loved one has been refused entry to a private business for not wearing a mask and you would like to explore legal options to protect your constitutional rights, our law firm is happy to explain just how fucking stupid you are.
Yeah.
Yep. It says everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you think that not having to wear a mask is unconstitutional, you're just an idiot.
You haven't read the Constitution.
I actually have not, so fair enough.
I have a pocket Constitution somewhere, but yeah.
Whoa. I guess I can do that. All right, this is a tweet from James. It says, "Stop being political. Bro, I said don't spread a deadly virus." Yes, the virus is apolitical, but somehow not in America.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for me to get to one certain thing, aren't you?
There's like one, there's just mainly one, but I mean, there's plenty of other good ones.
We haven't even gotten to ones that I've saved yet. These are still all from you. This I like. Was this like a dating show or like supposed to be like a dating app or something? COVID-19, Jessica, 34. I mean, they're both pretty cute. I could see them together.
Yeah. Yeah. Jessica really, likes them young.
I've heard that. Yeah. And she's also drinking something strange. That's a dark and stormy or coffee out of one of those diner glasses.
Or wine.
Oh, fair.
Jessica looks like a wine girl.
Yeah, especially
wine
at 34. 34 is a wine phase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Probably a Cab Sauv.
What'd you say?
She's probably drinking a Cab Sauv or Peanut Noir.
Peanut Noir.
Yes, this one's good.
I've seen this before. Yeah. Okay. This is a tweet from somebody named Leandro, but it's a Durex ad, a condom ad. Is this a real? This is a real ad, right?
I'm hoping it is. I mean, if that is what I will buy Durex
I think it's a real ad. I really do.
from now on.
Okay.
Fuck
So
Trojan.
the tweet says the marketing department at Durex is having a bit too much fun. And then the Durex ad is protect yourself and your loved ones. Going out, wear a face mask. Going in, wear a condom. Just be safe all around. Practice safe sex and safe six.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody out there in the dating world, they need to be asking, have you been tested? Of course, you both have to be wearing a mask when you're asked if this is in person or if virtual dates. But I think
I was thinking a great first date these days would be just going and getting tested together.
Yeah,
And if you're
totally.
both negative and you've been together the whole time and not seen other people, it's like, okay, cool. Let's touch hands.
Start, yeah. After you get consent.
Yes. Jessica, 34, still single, I think. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get some Durex, get tested. Jessica, watch out.
Jessica, watch out.
But I mean, she might already be taken by COVID.
This one, yes, it's a mirror, and it says, "This is the only person you care about if you're not wearing a mask." Super rapid. These are the assholes that all think they know better than everybody else on the internet about COVID-19 and science. They all look like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I shared two. I think that's going to be as far as we get.
Yeah. All right. Well, part 2 is we're gonna have some
bangers
out there.
And it potentially can be longer than this one. Maybe it won't be, but it can be.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, man. Good to see you.
All right. Good to see you too.
Spent too much time in California. Now I'm in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.